Good afternoon, everyone. So let's get some energy back. I think thoda sluggishness hai, so accept it as a leadership what we discuss and talk. So थोड़ा जागते हैं फिर बात करते हैं. So अभी तक what we discussed was more towards people safety, I mean individual safety and work related safety. I will talk more about process safety and how data works with process safety to enable what you want to do. And most of you, if I see the guest list, are from oil and gas side of business, and this is 100% linked to what you guys do in and out of your own business. I am Pawan, and मैम ने जितना मेरे बारे में बताया उतना हमें भी नहीं पता, but we do a lot of good things. Around 120 people working for one vision of making you safe, your facility safe, and catering 400 clients in 14 different countries. That's a fundamental thing that we do. This is our team, very young, so we are the youngest team in the world perspective, what we do, and we surpassed any company's revenue in the segment in EHS, what we do, whether foreign-based companies operating in India or any Indian companies per se. We are into our 12th year of operations, so that's a fundamental thing about in a nutshell that we do. The fundamental that we grew because of our key nature of innovation. And as we are not funded, we are self-profitable, so we were able to do what we wanted to do. So that's the two things by virtue of which we grew. So I'll skip these. This is an important slide that we have delivered around 2,100 projects, 100 plus team I spoke. These are the 14 countries where we work and deliver. So currently, on today also we are working for US, China, Singapore, and multiple countries. Project is ongoing as on today. So few of the clients, you name it, will have as a client, but the point here is with limited time, especially if minister comes in, I'll start from here, just do remember this. So, all right, so you hire a consulting company, like he talked about British Safety Council or any like us or anyone else. I mean, British Safety Council may not be a consulting company, is a certification company per se. So the point here is a consulting company is as good as you are. How many of you agree? A consulting company is as good as you are, because till you don't demand the right thing, you're not going to get the right thing. Till you're not very specific about your URS, user requirement specification, that what you want from some part of study or calculation or simulations, you'll get what exactly you've asked. And even though you've asked, it depends upon you that what you asked and how can you judge that document that has been supplied to you. Second thing, everything and anything that we do into PSM depends upon what. So PSM output, which is principally a process safety management per se, is any event which can cause catastrophic disaster. Fundamentally, will cause harm to more than set of people. I mean, maybe there is no definition of 10 people or 2 people, but at large, a set of people will be, or a societal damage may happen, perspective like Bhopal's tragedy or the one happened in Vizag recently. What is the most critical thing that when you decide and to take an action in PSM, what is the most fundamental thing, a set of things that you need to have? Is principally PSI, right? Any process safety information that you need. Now, it depends whether you follow CCPS or OSA or a mix of both, or you create your own standards, but still you will need PSI. You name it in a different way and deliver it. Most recently, we are implementing it in IPPL, which is Indian Oil Petronas Private Limited. We are implementing it conventionally as well as on tech for Haldia and Ennore, which is in Tamil Nadu. We learned one thing that both of them talked about leadership. I principally learned one thing in last 10 years is safety professionals are more, hypothetically worry about leadership. I have found hardly any safety professional leadership position, EHS head or so, who was able to convince the leaders. It is not the problem of the leaders, it is how do we get their buy-ins. I'll pull this point up front in public that I have met hardly any EHS leaders who are able to convince the buy-in of their own leadership and then going back to leadership and convince even a single point. Right? And that's where the leadership will not buy in. They are in and out, they are making decisions. It is our duty to get our buy-ins, make them responsible for what they do and what they are supposed to do. They have a number of functions to operate with. One of them is EHS. It is not only EHS. Right? So how important we are, we need to prove it to them. In the PSM also the same thing happens. When you put in governance structure on PSM and put PSI as top priority, that's what we are delivering to a number of companies. We got around 36 trademark on innovation. One of them is hybrid PSM, which is built over ILOL. It is again a trademark, which says information layered over layout. So I'll start from where you left, sir. You're talking about technology integrations in the morning, and I loved it because I have hardly heard people talking about right kind of tech. There are high-flying technologies, but real technology is how you enable your people with right information when they need what you spoke, right? So in PSM, what are the information that you will need when you need? So mostly a PNID. Most of you agree that there is a PNID which is virtually consumed at some stage of engineering or an MOC or any maintenance that is going to happen. There will be a chemical MSDS, there will be a spec sheet of machines. How many of you will agree that even the grease, the lubricant that we use on a bearing, that has a grade and that is very important for MOC? It is very important, everyone will agree, but now with all certainty, sir, you confirm me how many of you or in your premises know that grade? So there are people, but that knowledge is very people-oriented. If that particular person is not there in the factory, no one knows that information. And that's where the whole story starts. That what information we control and what information is actually consumable at that point of time. And that is what we are covering into hybrid PSM. HY stands for hybrid, and PSM is process safety management. We have our own process. I'm not going to detail of it, but the beauty is this screen, which you're saying, which we'll discuss today, which is digital twinning. So, is it feasible to carry the whole factory in a laptop or a tablet or a mobile phone? The answer is yes. With ever-growing tech, it is very much feasible. Now, when we say carrying the whole factory in your hand, means what? I'll not go into every PPT. So it may happen that I end up in 10 slides, not going for 30 slides all, but it is more important that we discuss. So what are those 3 things in a factory that you need to know before you say that I carry everything in my laptop or I carry everything anywhere I'm in a tablet or mobile phone? How many of you use Google Maps? All of you? If you don't use it indirectly, you're using it when you book an Uber, Ola, everything has a Google Map interface. Do you know how it works? Obviously. Yes? Oh, of course, data. But what kind of data? Now you're coming to the very right point, and that's where I wanted to come. Image. Satellite image. And users data for real-time traffic. Yes, and GPS, predictive for knowing the traffic kind of situation. Even you can ask Google Map to show a traffic 12 hours down the line. It can even predict what will happen around 12 hours down the line. Fundamental thing, if you look at Google Maps, it has a map. It has a map, right? Which is mostly static. It doesn't change every day. The map will not change every day. It slowly changes, but not every day. Second layer is you choose how do you commute. Will you go by your public transport, your own car, bicycle, walk? Third layer is real-time information, which is traffic, then anything which is GPS, all the real-time integrations. So there are 3 sets of layer: static layer, workflow, which you chose to drive and walk. Third is dynamic layer. The beauty of human brain, to solve any number of problems, it will consume only these 3 sets of data. Google Map is one of the examples. So even though there is no tech, anything that we do, actually we consume same set of data every day: PNID, MOC workflow, and real-time information of machine status. And that's how we coin our division of this innovation as Sparrow Infinity. We can solve infinite number of problems, provided that we have a platform which can provide you static, workflow, and dynamic information. How agreement? We call it human augmentation, and very happy to say that we have the trademark for human augmentation also in India. So that's how we evolve and we solve PSM problems. Not only PSM problems, for SRF in Chennai, for Asian Paint, all the plants, we are doing operation optimization, which is again using static, workflow, and dynamic, but of different sets, right? So Google Map, map is the static information. In PSM, that becomes a layout. PNID becomes a static information. So it varies, but concept remains very clean, and that is what high PSM is based upon. So PSM, these are very known things to you, but in PSI, there are few things which are very complex to manage. There are few things which are quite not that easy, but manageable to manage, kind of. Even a negligible error in PSI can lead to catastrophic, incidents. Vijay is one of the most acclaimed thing to see, that how a molasses tank was used to keep styrene gas, and smallest thing no one thought of, but the result was catastrophic. So negligible error is also not manageable in the kind of business that you actually manage every day in, day out.
So few of the process parameters, if you look at, these are few. I'm not saying this is limited. You can add a number of elements. But the beauty here is that when you think about these things, these can be clubbed into 4 direct components. Either it will be a diagram, it will be a core number data, it will be asset layer data or layout driven data. Nothing more than these 4. You name it any PSI that you want to name. So I'll repeat it for you. It is diagrams, core numbers, asset layered and layout driven. So layout driven is what? Your hazardous area classification is what? Is a layout driven information, and it can go as precise as you want as per the new IEC 6079. It has given you millimeter precision if you want to do. And then asset layered, so you have corrosion data, spec sheet, mechanical integrity data as per API's standards, API 750, relief system design, all are asset layered. Core numbers are spec sheet, ANSI data. So when we consume in our software, those are ANSI numbers, very precise. So if you open our software and click on a pump, or you open the same software in US, the pump spec sheet will be as per ANSI, so no deviation of you understanding different, I understanding different, it doesn't happen. Diagrams like PNIDs, PFDs, and so on and so forth. So if you define these 4 sets of data, you can develop your own software which can consume these 4 and give you results, right? So are we clear on this? But it takes 5 years to develop a software, so you may buy from us. That's what I'm trying to say, you know. So a human brain consumes diagrams, numbers, assets, layout to solve any of your factory situations. If you look at this PNID, it gives you certain information which is mostly towards piping, machine, certain instrumentation per se, much of detail. But if you look at, these are mostly static information. And these are so static that even though you have PNID, with all confidence that I know in and out of this PNID, still you will go to n number of departments to know n number of other factors to take one decision. So even though you have a PNID, it doesn't work out. So we need to make these PNIDs digital, which is more consumable, perspective static information, clubbed with workflow, and definitely clubbed with dynamic information. Am I clear how I'm moving towards what we are solving and what we are making, you know, as a product which is IndustryOS, right? So these are mostly static information and usable kind of thing. So we talked about this already with an example of Google Map. Static information in your case would be mostly PNIDs, QRA information, hazardous area. Workflow would be depending upon what you want to solve. And machine run data, it is directly coming from your PLC system, DCS system, IoT system, standalone sensors, or what so not. So now, combination of these 3, you will be able to solve infinite number of problems. You will pick one problem today, but the same platform will scale up when you actually need the next set of solutions. IPPL, we were chosen in Petronas specifically because of this. There are a number of companies, global companies, which does PSM implementation. But the question is, how many of you been somewhere or other part of PSM implementation? Now question is, 6, 7 people, how many were able to complete it and say that it's completed, implemented? No one. The reason, do you know why? You are not able to sustain it because your people-dependent processes are not sustainable. And that's where tech comes into play, right? So this is a sampling that works, right? So, all right, so this is how we got a trademark on human augmentation. We talked about this. So what we innovated. So we created digital twin, which help you creating ILOL, information layout over layout, machine asset information, PSI layers, logic layer, and dynamic data. I'll not go into much of detail because we have a very good AI team which is on top, which is an optional thing to have. So for a process industry, mostly it happens with digital twinning, real-time analytics, maintenance and operations, these things goes as required. How do we do it? We take your layout. See the simplicity of this software. We take your layout. We have libraries of thousands and thousands of machines. If you're on the top, you'll see mechanical, you can drag and drop, instrumentation, anything that you can see, smallest instrumentation to the biggest composite machine that you can imagine. From library, you just drag and drop to the layout. And our team does it. You need not to do yourself. If you want an access and admin, you can do it, but we help you out setting it up. So we just drag and drop, and these are ANSI global icons, right? Every piping, every shaft is 100% replication in 2 dimensions of your factory, from the most composite reactor to the most simplest handheld fire extinguisher. And are you getting a picture clear that how we build it, right? Once it is done, every machine comes with their static information databases. Imagine how much work we have done as an Indian company. Have you found any Indian company doing these kind of stuff? You'll pay happily to Siemens, You will especially pay to British Safety Council, right? But how many of you have seen people in Indian companies are investing in these kind of tech, So this is what we do. And every of these libraries are curated, assured, and petrochemical companies are using it. So that's what the beauty is. Then it converts your PNIDs to digital PNIDs in and out. Then it converts all your information into databases from asset detail, plant CAD layout, process PNIDs, operation processes, machine logs, and datasets. As it is built on your CAD drawing, everything that you do, QRA, you do your hazardous classification, is integrated. So the moment you right-click on the machine and create a hot permit to work, it knows that if LEL crosses this limit, I'll not allow it. If you have an FNG mapping sensors, it will not allow you the permit to work. It is a 100% automated capable system which can go to the limit where you can even think of, right? So this is something is being consumed with world-class IT security. I say world-class, our consumers are like L'Oreal, we have consumers like Reckitt. Why I'm naming the MNC clients? Because they have verified us like anything on IT securities, right? So it goes with machine and people level EHS integration. The user interface is plain and simple. They don't have 1 minute now. So this is user interface is plain and simple. You don't get any drag and drop feature. Only admin can have. You have use cases and so on and so forth. So my time is up. We are the only company, even Aviva doesn't do so, to have PNID and BOP as one set. That means process and balance of process is into one. So I have another 10 slides, but I'll leave you with this thought. The most critical acclaimed project that we're doing is Petronas SRF. You have a question, sir? Yeah, please, sir. Yeah. Yes.
Import terminals, there are many complex lines. How it is going to benefit me in some kind of some commissioning or decommissioning process? Do it give some suggestions when I am going to do some lineup?
100% yes, provided you have historical data of it. So what you will decommission, provided you have something commissioned already. True?
Yes.
So that commissioning data will be consumed by a set of process.
Now, can I plan commissioning or decommissioning of a particular section through this model?
Definitely yes, 100% yes.
Yeah, hi Pawan. Yeah, there's a question for you. So I believe you have inbuilt all the digital data in terms of PSM point of view. So Exida, Arida, all are integrated with that in terms of SIL and other things. And
yes, sir, answer is yes.
Yeah. And since this has been widely used across the world, so is there any standard or policy forcing that all the data should be in software format so that you don't need to brainstorm too much and conclude on something which is not
the reason
realistic?
The software, the data has to be on a software or any digital platform is primarily two reasons. One is it's not people dependent. Number two, it has to be one true data level for any decision making. Right, that's it. Now, how you consume it, that depends. So the concept is data lake now. It is, we talk about EHS, but fundamentally, if we are looking 10 decade ahead from us, I think EHS, quality, manufacturing processes will not remain independent. That will be covered under one umbrella of manufacturing excellence. So the moment the word manufacturing excellence will come into play, including sustainability as a function, then the data has to talk. Now, what will happen, we create data in silos. So EHS data remains with EHS guys, whether on digital format or an Excel sheet or on a paper, that doesn't matter, but it has to talk someday. So that's the third critical reason that data has to go online.
Yeah, but that's not happening now, maybe down the line.
Yeah, and that's why we are ready. I mean, and that's why we saw it way ahead of any other Indian company per se. So to bring it, there are two reasons why we saw it. Of course, it's a business opportunity for us, and parallelly, the current software which are being sold are extensively costly without reason because we don't know. You can ask, we do a lot of consulting. So you can ask for mandate rate, you can ask mandates, but in software what will you ask? It's a cost. And that's what we want to rationalize and make it very affordable to the most of the industries.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay,
you, sir.
fine, thanks.
So because of minister, I get the extra time, so thanks to him. Anyway, I voted for him, so it works.
Hello. Sir, I just wanted to know if you have, as you have digitalized all the PNID equipments, I can see on the PNID. So, does it prompt for job safety plan for when I go for a maintenance job?
So job safety planning is inbuilt.
Inbuilt.
So the moment you apply for a permit to work,
Yes.
or you even don't apply, it even predicts whether you need a permit to work or not.
No,
And
for
it is-
our system in Bharat Petroleum, we have our work permit system. Only job safety plan, because there are so many equipments are there. If we can feed the data once, so that I can take the job safety plan from download
it
from
is-
that.
In our case, it is linked to each asset,
Okay.
each work type. So either you accept through a work type or you go to a machine. So you right click on a machine,
Okay.
or you double click on a composite machine. A multiple machine will pop up because the composite machines are not a natural one machine.
Okay.
And even
I
though you
can
go
get
to
the data from
100%, 100%.
And second thing is, as you have inbuilt all the equipments, can I have a preventive maintenance thing in the background?
100% yes. That's the reason I'm saying infinite. Because how do you do preventive maintenance? Not only preventive maintenance, but also condition-based monitoring.
Can I click and take these are the preventive maintenance plan for this equipment?
100% yes.
That is a great thing.
100%
Yes.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We call that platform as cost. Everything included, we call it Sapphire. It is IndustryOS Sapphire. Yes, ma'am.
Can we give opportunity to somebody else, please? Can we give, sir? So if you don't mind, we would like to give the opportunity to some other person. Thank you.
So myself, Venkatesh Advaryu, the country EHS head for Renuka Sugars, which is the Wilmar subsidiary.
Yes, I was supposed to beat you anyway.
So generally in PSM, out of the 14 elements, in which elements, how many elements you are working? Because
Except last 114, that is trade secret, we work for all because all are engineering data-driven processes. So anywhere where engineering data is consumed, and engineering data is in and out, everything. So we can work for 13 elements in as per OSA, and as per CCPS, we work for 19 elements out of 20.
but it comes incident investigation and contractor safety management, everything.
Everything, yes, sir.
But contractor safety management is, I think so, everybody may be hoping. So that is a big challenge all over the world, not only in India. So maximum some presented as rewards and all other things, motivational things. But till today, so on that front, maybe we all as a leaders, might be we are not focusing much on the contractors as we are thinking maximum in a industries, employees are our assets.
True.
But why can't we just think contract workers are also our assets?
Actually, anyone who comes
Because
into
it
my
is a
place-
maximum, because if you see the trend of this frequency rates, okay, particularly in the employees and the contractors, always in all over the world, all the time, the contractors LTIFR or might be the frequency.
any other indices.
Very
any other indices.
So on that front, you are
100%, sir.
excluding.
100%. And I need to add one more thing. Contractor management as a subject or as a problem is not one. If there are, say, suppose 100 companies are sitting here, it will be 100 problems because
And-
everyone will